apprentice program with our biomedical technicians, field engineers, getting them into the field and really starting at that early career. And then about a year and a half in, we had gotten our SkillBridge approved for GE Healthcare, and I started to lead that program. And for SkillBridge, we have positions throughout the company, whether that's in the field or remote, whether that's project management or field engineer, biomedical technician.
Excellent. Well, tell us a little bit about your background and how you found out about GE Healthcare. We're always interested to see how you got to the position you are.
Absolutely. Um, so a little bit about me. I'm from Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I was born and raised, and I still live here. I am relatively shy, so I thought that I could get as much education as possible. I need any help roles for. I was fortunate to identify this role in GE Healthcare. The education, it helped, but it definitely did not land me the role as well as networking did. So that's how I came to be a part of GE Healthcare. My friend from college, after I had received my master's degree, contacted me and said, "Hey, you're not making enough. Come work at GE Healthcare with me." And it was a risky move actually for me, but I did it and I've been really happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about kind of the culture, the values, and what you kind of what's different about working there versus some of the other jobs you've had.
Of course. And then I'd also like to just put it in a perspective of you all being military, separating, transitioned, or whatnot. So my experience is that I have not ran into anyone at GE Healthcare who was not interested in helping me in whatever way that they could, whether that was a little bit outside of their scope, or if it was just a quick conversation with, you've reached the wrong person, but I know the next step or the next person for you to reach out to. So it has been a culture of support. It has been a culture of lean opportunities. So always trying to look for ways to be efficient and help you be efficient in whatever way that they can support in that as well. And then from the military's perspective, we have a pretty robust veterans network who's very involved in all of our military programs. So we offer junior officer leadership program. We offer P3O. We are aligned with Army Pays. We do Skill Bridge. And in our company of plus 50,000 plus, 10% are veterans or military who are still in reserves and whatnot. And 20% in our service, which is the job family that I kind of support mostly, 20% of those are veterans. And those are just the ones that we've been able to identify. I've been kind of a Where's Waldo of our military. So oftentimes we have SkillBridge go into the field and they'll tell me like, oh, my leader or my mentor is military. And I'm like, okay, tell me their name. We're gonna get them involved in the Veterans Network. So that's kind of been my experience. The culture has been amazing. And I know that that sounds biased because I work here, but I really do believe that it is a great experience, while also acknowledging that culture and your experience is dependent on factors such as your team, your manager. And I haven't had a bad experience yet.
Yeah, I always always find it interesting that we tend to think of the culture or the whole company based on our direct supervisor. And sometimes our direct supervisor may not be the best, or they could be absolutely incredible and vice versa. But it's that
Yeah.
overall impact when you work with multiple different managers and different teams and different people that really gives you a taste of what the character of the company is.
Yes, I agree. And SkillBridge has awarded me the opportunity to reach out to people across the company. So I have a pretty diverse opinion because I've been able to interact with different people. But yes, I agree completely with that. And I think another benefit of GE Healthcare is that you're never stuck in a box or in one place. I make it a point to connect with leaders, and people in general just to hear about their experience. And more often than not, the individuals that have been here for 25 plus years, they were doing great in one area, and then someone noticed it in another and said, "Hey, can you come work for me over here?" And that actually just recently happened with my leader that I started in GE Healthcare with. She was acknowledged for our extern program, which is another military program that we have here. And one of our executive leaders said, "Hey, I've seen your work here. Would you like to have a position over here?" And she accepted that. So
Excellent.
it's a great place to
So let's talk a little bit.
move around, a great place to build connections, and a great place to support.
Excellent. So talk to me a little bit about the corporate structure. So I know we have GE as the parent company, and then there's aircraft engines, there's healthcare, there's finance, there's tell us about kind of the large picture of GE and then specifically what GE Healthcare focuses on that vertical.
Sure. So actually we have completely spun off from GE. We are our own company. But GE Healthcare focuses on medical technologies and improving the patient experience through our medical technologies, and how we service the equipment.
Okay. And so what are some of those offerings you have from MRI machines to CAT scans to other stuff in between, I'm sure, right?
Yes, our service department as a field engineer, those bigger equipment such as the X-rays, the MRIs, we have our field engineers service those. Our field engineers travel within a region servicing that equipment. And then for our biomedical technicians, they focus more on the smaller equipment and they usually work at one hospital site. And then we have supporting roles for those as well, whether that is the equipment, we have sales roles for that equipment. And I think that another good thing about GE Healthcare is that when we have this equipment that kind of reaches its end of life, we do regift and give that at a lower cost to hospitals in need across the world. So I think that was something that was really motivating for me, that we aren't just using this equipment and we are changing people's lives, but on the other side, we are giving back in a way. And that who doesn't want to work for a company that gives back?
Excellent. Well, let's jump right into what everybody wants to know about. So let's start first of all, are there certain MOSs, certain jobs, certain backgrounds that you think would be really natural, easy fits for the programs that you're recruiting for?
Yeah, good question. So for SkillBridge program, we have a very close relationship with our field team. That would be the biomedical technicians, the field engineers. So those are roles that are pretty easy to align you with. However, we have roles across the country. So for example, right now, we're looking for an HR talent partner to help run our apprentice program. And how, because our SkillBridge program is still relatively new and relatively small, we have the flexibility to kind of give you this VIP experience. And what we have you do is look at opportunities on our website that don't mention the military or skill bridge, and then we reach out directly to those managers. So you get to skip the line of applicants, skip the process, and that's just one way that we align you with roles. In addition to that, you also, as I mentioned, will see some roles posted, such as that HR talent program role or our field engineer, biomedical technician engineer roles. We're also hiring in Wisconsin for um, machine technicians. So those are just some of the hands-on experience that we're offering. And then other than that, our supportive roles, such as the HR one, most of those are going to be remote. So we have flexibility for individuals across the country.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about the onboarding and training program. So we've got a lot of people with pretty extensive background in aviation repairs, maintenance, small machines up to really complicated machines to nuclear submarine engineers. Tell us a little bit about and then we've got people that have had zero technical background, but maybe wanting to make a change.
hmm Um, so for the onboarding process, you can apply for one of our roles. That is one way. And then from there, we will send you a link to gather some of those specific skills. This is for SkillBridge specifically. So we would send you a link for SkillBridge to gather information such as your available start date, available end date, and that information will help us align you with other um, managers. If you are not eligible for SkillBridge, you would go through the normal hiring process. So I'll speak a little bit to both. For the SkillBridge process, after we get the information using that link, we will connect with you. I partner with actually a former SkillBridge himself. He's a 20-year
Brianna, you might be lagging a little bit. I
Air
don't know.
Force retiree. And sorry about that. There is a storm here.
No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the last thing we heard was that you're offering everybody a $250,000 prepaid job, and then we didn't hear anything else after.
Yes, you can check your emails for that information.
Excellent.
If you don't mind, I'll try. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that helps. That helps the bandwidth there. So thank you.
Okay. So the onboarding process for either my will connect with you after you for us with details that with managers to move forward, get your resume and you first. And we will kind of walk you through that process. Once they want to move forward with you, we provide that. I'm sorry, in addition to the storm, they decided to do the grass right now. Give me 1 second.
We're used to overcoming and adapting. No worries.
Sorry about that. This is great timing. Um, so after a manager decides that they would like to move forward with you, we would provide a training plan and assignment letter for your official approval through your command for SkillBridge. Depending on your role, we have a service onboarding that all of our new hires go through, whether you are an apprentice, in a regular role with GE Healthcare or SkillBridge. Depending on your role, you'll go through that. Regardless of your role, you will meet with myself and George, and we will tell you a little bit about our program, which includes 30-day check-in, an exit interview, whether you are transitioning into a full-time role with us or transitioning off program. It would include information about our community calls. We have all of our SkillBridge get together on a monthly call to discuss professional development topics specific to you. And then we also offer a mentorship program using our Veterans Network. So we align you with one of our volunteers from the Veterans Network. And the idea of that is to have someone who has transitioned out of the military and also kind of speaks the language of GE healthcare to aid you in that transition as well. Um, and in addition to that, because our goal is to align you with a role following SkillBridge, we take some steps before you come on board, such as talking with managers about a line of sight into a permanent role. We say line of sight just because business needs can change, and so it does change sometimes. However, when you come on board, we also check back within about 45 days from your offboarding to see what the plan is and how we can support it. So if the plan is to still transition you into a full-time role, that is great, and we'll support that. If the manager comes back and says that something happened and I don't have this role anymore, then we will use the rest of the time that you have on board with us to identify a permanent role for you. And we've been pretty successful at that. We have a 90% offer rate for this year. And we've brought on this year over 20 SkillBridge with a goal of 50 for the year. And then last year we brought on 48 SkillBridge with an 80% offer rate. So these initiatives that we're taking, they are helping, they are working. And then for that other side, for individuals who aren't eligible for SkillBridge and want to know about obtaining a permanent role within GE Healthcare, I can also help with that. That is outside of my scope, but I'm honestly genuinely happy to help in whatever way I can. So I use my HR powers to see things that you won't be able to see on your end. By that, I mean kind of looking at the competition, seeing what resumes are getting looked at, and maybe how yours may be different from theirs. So you have a little insight into how you can tailor better to the job description, um, or just how you can differentiate yourself as a candidate. So with those roles, you kind of go through the regular hiring process. However, you can also reach out to me directly, and I will be happy to kind of look at what we can do to make sure you stand out.
I love it. I love when you said you get to use your powers. You're like Superman with your X-ray vision. You can look right through that firewall and see all that good stuff. All right. So one last question before we open up to the group. A lot of these roles are pretty technical. Talk us through some of the on-the-job training, what those programs look like. Because obviously, if you've got someone that's got a pretty good mechanical engineering background, but they've never seen an MRI before, that sounds like a pretty big learning curve. Talk us through that.
Mhm. So for that, that would be like our field engineers. You'd go through your week of onboarding, and that will kind of consist of the going through the programs that we use to service equipment and things like that. After that, you'll transition into the field where you'll have a mentor within the field, in addition to your manager and your team in general. And you would kind of shadow your mentor throughout all of this, learning, growing, depending on your competency level with the equipment and whatnot. There may be opportunity. We do technical training here in Wisconsin, and managers send individuals to Wisconsin to complete that training. For regular employees, you'll kind of be notified and work with your manager to determine the time frame for that. For SkillBridge, it's a little more complicated because we can't reimburse. However, we do pay for you to come here for that technical training. Once you have technical training, you can then work on your own. But in addition to having someone to shadow until you learn those competencies, we're also rolling out what we're calling field-based training. So you'll have your mentor, and then there will be opportunities for a field-based trainer to come in and help you gain some competencies as well, which again will help align you with a role, whether that's SkillBridge, or if you are a regular employee, set you up just for success in general and prepare you for other opportunities going forward.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's do this. If you don't mind, Brianna, do you mind taking a couple questions?
I'm happy to.
All right. Nathan's our first to jump up there. So Nathan, I'll go ahead and we'll start with you. Before we do that, Brianna, just beforehand, we're very active on LinkedIn. Would you mind sharing your LinkedIn contact if you don't mind?
Absolutely. I was actually just getting that ready to pop in the chat.
Perfect. All right, Nathan, if you want to go ahead and jump off mute and lead us off here.
All right, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it, Breanna. So I've been really interested in GE because I talked to a friend who had worked there and done some research. Seems like a really great company, particularly GE Aerospace. They've got a plant here in Asheville and one of the few who were doing SkillBridge. My only issue there was like the dates didn't line up because their SkillBridge, from what I heard, it was only through hiring our heroes with very specific cohort dates, and so I ended up doing this program instead. So it sounds like maybe you guys have some more flexibility, especially since we can do the OJT kind of program. So is that a way for us to be able to get involved or have it kind of a tailored skill bridge from you guys within what we're doing here at Seven Eagles or AB?
So yeah, we don't have specific dates that you have to abide by or anything like that. As long as you reach out to us and we're able to align you with the role, we're able to um, we're able to get you a start date that aligns with our onboarding and with your availability, um, and go through the process there. And we do partner with like Hire Our Heroes, or another one is the College of Biomedical Technicians, for on-the-job training as well. In those instances, we still do send you the assignment letter and training plan, whether you've already been approved for SkillBridge or not, just for consistency, and so you have the information.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's great. And then what's the shortest amount of time you guys accept like a skill bridge participant?
We We would like for it to be at least 90 days. Um, but just as we try to be transparent with you and give you enough information to make an informed decision, regardless of how much time you have, as long as it is enough time to get you onboarded, we would still connect with the manager and it would be at their discretion if they would want to move forward with you. And their opinion usually depends on if they have a role to transition you into that soon. But it depends based on each manager.
Perfect.
And,
Thanks.
and Brianna, you mentioned, so if we've got someone that's maybe got, because we have several people in our program that are in the last couple of days of their skill bridge and some people that have finished skill bridge altogether. You mentioned you are still, those positions still are eligible. They just can talk to you separately on those situations. Is that right?
Those who aren't eligible for SkillBridge. So we wouldn't have an opportunity within the SkillBridge program. However, we have an apprentice program for those entry-level individuals, and I work pretty closely with the apprentice team. So I'd have a little bit more insight into those opportunities. And then for opportunities outside of apprentice and SkillBridge, yes, I'm happy to do whatever I can to support you, but I won't have as much information about those specific roles. I can reach out to managers for you. I can look at your resume and make sure that we're um, tailoring it to the job position. I can talk to recruiters, but it'll look a little different from the SkillBridge opportunity.
So you're saying you're protected from kryptonite within SkillBridge, but outside of SkillBridge, that's where the kryptonite comes in a little bit.
A little bit.
Just
Still
a,
still
you still have
protected,
your
just a little.
superpowers though. Marcus, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Marcus,
Afternoon.
doing good.
Breanna, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. So I'm more going into the IT field, but I know like doing like job searching and stuff like that at certain medical facilities and certain healthcare places that they have an IT team specifically for their medical equipment. Is that something that y'all offer as well?
Um, can you ask that again?
Do y'all have an IT team specifically dedicated to maintaining your medical equipment?
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No, go
Um,
ahead.
I don't know. I do not, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that, but let me look into it.
Mhm.
Um, if you could connect with me just so that once I have an answer, I can follow up with you. Um, yeah, I would like
Okay.
to find more information on that for you.
Yeah, definitely. I'll reach out to you on LinkedIn in a couple days.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your question.
Anybody else? Just go ahead and raise your hand if we have any other questions. Otherwise, we'll give you your time back. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and put my LinkedIn information on here. I have got a chance to speak with some of you in the past. Been helping out with Seven Eagle now for, gosh, almost a year. My specific background is in small business startup, entrepreneurship, business coaching, those type of things. So if anybody has any questions within that area, I'm more than happy to help you out. Um, all right. Any last save rounds, Brianna? Anything to share before we go ahead and close it down for today?
I think I shared everything that I can think of, but if you connect with me, if you reach out, I'm happy to answer any questions or see how I can further support you in your job search. The job search is daunting, and you're going to talk to a lot of different HR people who have a lot of very different advice for how to stand out. Um, and so let me support you in whatever way that I can.
Perfect. And everyone, we're hoping to get GE Healthcare on our as a permanent member of the Seven Eagle Group and family. So Brianna and I are going to be talking about that a little bit more later this week. So hopefully you'll get to see from here quite a bit more here in the future. But other than that, everyone have a great rest of the day and thanks for your time. Happy Monday.
Thank you, everyone.